So probably our last speaker, we probably won't have time for our surprise speaker, is Hrvoje Benko. And he's going to talk about, he's going to wrap us up.
Thanks, Scott. Well, these are really tough acts to follow, so thank you guys for sticking around. Back in 2012 at SIGCHI in Austin, I gave a talk at my latest research at the time, and what happened right after that had a profound impact on how I think about my career and how I think about my work. Really what happened is after the talk, you usually come down and you start seeing a group of people who come up to you and ask some questions. It was kind of a vanilla stuff, mostly people asking for clarifications, how do you get an internship at Microsoft Research, things like that, typical things. But as I was talking to folks, I've noticed this one person kind of waiting patiently in line. They were young. He was likely a student. But one thing was odd about him, he was really fidgeting. He was focusing on me like, razor eyes, but really, really fidgety, like he didn't quite know what to do with his body. And, having been in computer science, you deal with your fair share of socially awkward people, so it was kind of business as usual. I feel like I can take this is okay. But really what happened is, he comes up to me, and I was fully expecting one of those questions like, how do I get an internship at Microsoft Research? It would be really good. But no, he said something that really took me by surprise. He said, Dr. Benko, you're my favorite researcher. I'm so honored to meet you. And he bowed. And that one sentence actually absolutely floored me. That's kind of the gist of my talk, actually, but favorite researcher. The words, actually, we don't utter too often in our field. It's really actually interesting. We as we progress in our field, we have, our awards, your best papers, your SIGCHI Academy. I don't have SIGCHI Academy, but some people have SIGCHI Academy, things like that. But you really don't have favorites. You don't have true fans. If you want to go for true fans, you have sports, right? Athletes, musicians, actors, Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. That's where you have true fans. In science, it's kind of not really okay, or maybe it is okay, but we don't really kind of express it in that particular way. That's the first thing that kind of floored me about it, but this guy's clearly said, you're my favorite researcher. The second part about it is like, up until that very moment, up until that second, I thought of myself as a very junior person in the field. I really thought I got my PhD, and I got my dream job at Microsoft Research, and just walking down the halls, there was George Robertson and Eric Horowitz and Mary Stravinsky and Andy Wilson and Patrick Bowdish and Ken Hinckley, and you can go on and on and on. I was really the one walking in the shadow of giants. I never thought of myself as a senior or anything. So to have this student come up to me and say something like this was really eye-opening. I still remember the first time I was an intern at MSR, and I saw Ken Hinckley walking down the hall, and I was like, oh my God, that's Ken Hinckley, no way. Wow. Little did I know that eventually, he's just going to have an office across the hall, and we're going to share lunch, and, I'm going to know his kids and all the good stuff. But anyway, one thing that, the third thing that really kind of floored me about this is that from that moment on in our conversation, I don't remember anything. All I was focusing on those two words, favorite researcher. I'm sure we talked about something. That was great. What I really regret is actually, I don't know his name. I don't know who that person is. I don't know where they're from, because I was just completely blanking that whole thing out. I just couldn't comprehend that moment was happening. So I'm using this opportunity. I know the crowd is not as big right now. It was bigger before. But if you are that person, or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm talking to you, yeah, just come and find me. I would love to buy you a beer at some point. We'll straighten this out. So anyway, guys, thank you. But to conclude this whole talk, and I'm told to finish by 8, so I have like 2 minutes left, but this is going to take 1 minute. I think as a community, we should change this whole thing. I think we should have true fans. I think you should be able to go up there and you should tell to people, you're my favorite, you're awesome, you inspire me, you do things that I would not think about, but you really just make me be a better person, make me be a better researcher, make me do my work so much better. So I hope that you can use this Chi opportunity right now. This is a great time to go and think about people that inspire you. Think about people whose work you've emulated. Go up to them. It's a great conversation starter, I promise you. And just say 2 words, written right there, favorite researcher. You're my favorite researcher. I'm your true fan. And I also hope that as you go through this, and as you go through these conversations, and as you go through your career, that every single one of you guys gets to experience your own favorite researcher moment. So thank you.
Don't go anywhere.